What's up, guys, and welcome back to Minecraft. Today I'm bringing you another Let's Build It video. If you haven't seen last Let's Build It video where I built this super sick clock tower base, go check that out. But today I'm really excited for this build. This isn't like a modeled build like the skull one. This isn't a, super unique build that I haven't seen like the clock tower. This is something that I'm sure is relatable to everyone who's played Minecraft, and that's building a starter base. So what a starter base means to me is something that you build before you build your mega build in your hardcore or survival world. This is the place that you're going to call home for a very short amount of time before you build that absolutely massive structure that you've been dreaming of starting the world for. Now, the starter base is something that is really exciting to me because there's no pressure to build something colossal. There's no pressure to make something look really cool, but there's no pressure. And it's honestly a really fun time to kind of experiment with a layout that you've never done before and make something that's really secure and safe. So let's get down to the 6 fundamental things I believe, now this is in my personal opinion, that you need in a starter base before you start your final or master build. And maybe this final starter base is the base you live in throughout your whole survival server or hardcore server. Maybe this is all you need, and that's okay too. So that's why I set up these 6 things that I think are very important that you should have in the starter base, and which I'm going to include in my starter base today. So the first thing is the storage in the chests. Obviously you need storage in the chests, and you need a lot of them. For me personally, I like 12 double chests. I think that's a sufficient amount of double chests, especially if you need a lot of blocks for your mega build. This is something that's going to house all the miscellaneous and tools and items that you'll need for your final build. Second, you obviously need a smelting and furnace room. There's 3 smelting and furnace items in Minecraft. Obviously you need crafting benches. There's a couple of crafting benches in the game. I'm not entirely sure how many, but it's not super important or the most important in terms of things you need in your starter base. Obviously you need a crafting table. Everyone needs a crafting table, but I feel like that goes without saying. Fourth, you need a bedroom. Obviously you need a spawn point. If it's a hardcore world, you don't. Obviously you need a bedroom in there where you can make it daytime and move on with your builds. Now these last 2, they're arguably unnecessary, but it's up to you. I will be including these, and I always include these in my starter base. That is the nether portal and enchanting room, which I think are very important in progressing in the game, and you might as well have them in your starting base because that's where you'll be at, before you start building your mega build. Most people don't build their colossal mega structure until they've at least beaten the game, which is fair, or maybe they beat the game first, but regardless, today I will be including those 6 things in my build. So without further ado, let's get into the layout of my structure. I'm going to go with a very streamlined, very simple base that's just straight down like a giant hallway, just so it's super easy, nothing's too complicated, and it'll look super clean. Let's lay this thing out. All right, so far I have this little entrance, which is pretty cool. This will be like the mud room. I don't know. It's just more aesthetic than anything. So when I mentioned before, I always use 12 double chests, and this is honestly up to you. You can still use this design, but for me, I think 12 double chests is the perfect amount of chests that you want in terms of accumulating the blocks that you need for your final build, as well as housing all those other items, miscellaneous items and tools that you'll need later on or during the build process. And I think 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 chests is a perfect amount of chests. It's honestly up to you how many, and here's where the furnaces and crafting area come along. Again, you can make as many furnaces as you want. These are not exactly where they're going to go in the layout. I just wanted to show you how I'm laying this out so that everything fits perfectly and symmetrically, and that's just kind of my personal preference, really. Honestly, I've overdone this and made a crap ton of furnaces before. I never use them. I feel like 4 is such a good number in terms of smelting things because you never really use more. When I was laying this out, I wanted to lay this out like this, and this is just fragmenting the areas in which I want these to sit. And you can design this however you want. Maybe I want to move this towards the middle, and obviously these won't be exactly where these are laid out, but I do like things symmetrical, so maybe I'll do it like this. And then we'll leave those other crafting materials and items to the left and right of these furnaces as they sit nicely to this crafting area. Now, going to develop the nether portal and enchanting room, and these are very important, and you can put these wherever you'd like, but I personally think the best place to put them is either underground or in a separate room. And I think for this build, I'm gonna make separate rooms. I also want to show you an enchanting room design that is really cool and also saves space. So let's say you want to make a starter base that's super small. This technique I'm about to show you is something that can fit that small space and look really cool and cozy. So like I said, I won't be using this specific enchanting room technique for this build, but I did want to show you guys this because it is something that I use actually a lot, even in my master builds. I know aesthetically people like the enchanting rooms because they look really cool. cool. But again, if you're trying to save space, this is the way to go. So this is kind of like a really cool design if you want to make something super sleek and super space saving. And honestly, like while you're down here, you know, you can't get punched in the back. No mobs can follow you in. You can make it one more high and add a lantern in the middle, which is a pretty cool design. But overall, I just wanted to show you this really quick as it's a super easy way to house your enchanting room in a really small base. Is a really good idea. And as you can see, it looks really cool. But like I said, we won't be focusing on that for this build. We're going to add actual rooms for that. So I want to make sure that those rooms are also symmetrical so we can finally build the bedroom at the way end of the build and start getting into the actual design aspect of this build, which is the most fun and really what I'm really excited to do. Let's get right into those little rooms. So here's that side room, and that is the enchanting table right there. As you can see, it looks totally like an enchanting table, and we got the bookshelves on the sides. And this will be a perfect amount of space for an enchanting room. Again, just squeezing it in there, and also add some dimension to the build, which looks really, really cool. The nether portal can actually fit right here. So the nether portal would go up like that and fit nicely in that corner. And I think will look really, really clean and cool. So now for the bedroom, this is a starter build. If you have other people, you can make other bedrooms such as these and kind of just layer them up. Let's say you have 4 people in a server. You can just continue on these builds all the way down and make a giant hallway where you all can congregate at this middle area, the crafting, building, and all of those essentials. But for this build, this is a solo player build. So this bedroom is actually just going to be at the very end here. Honestly, it's going to be, again, very streamlined, very straightforward, and kind of mimic the front of this build here because I wanted to make a really cool balcony going around this edge. But you guys will see that when I start actually building the base. But for the bedroom, will be super simple. It's just 2 beds. Let's lay that out now. Kind of like the design where the headrest is kind of in the wall and the bed's hanging out, which is pretty cool. But this will be the bed, and this is kind of the layout, right? So we have our 6 essentials. We have our chest room, we have our furnace and smelting. On each side will be the crafting. We got our enchanting room here, our nether portal, and our bedroom. And as you can see, it's very space saving and super easily set up. Laying something out like this, again, I always suggest, and there's ample space for design. And honestly, I'm really excited to get into the detailing of this base because again, that's the best part for me personally, and I think this thing's gonna look really, really sick. So let me get those blocks back and start laying this sucker out. All right, now we got the layout of this build. Looks pretty cool. Now let's start building in those walls. Okay, so now that we have that fundamental layout again, look at how sick that is. Super simple, super sleek starter build. And you're probably wondering, hey Jake, you didn't make any room for windows. And you're right, and I have a plan for that. I'm gonna make risen windows. So along the whole top of at least this front bit is gonna be window risen walls because we don't wanna block those chests. What's the point of having a chest in front of a window if you can't even see out the window? So I'll show you how those windows are gonna lay out. So here we have a super sleek design for that window area, and I think that looks super cool. I decided I'll probably have a big master window here down at the end of the build, which is pretty cool, like little full length window view right there. But it's cool that I have these like little window top areas. Now when we have all our chests and all our items laid out, we can still see outside into the views, which is really, really cool. Like I said, I want to make a little balcony area, which is just a little bit more of a design choice. I'm going to have to bring this platform out a little bit more. So let me start articulating that balcony area. Okay, so this will be the layout of that balcony or porch design, if you will. We have our little entrance here, which will be these little steps that'll go to the front door. And now let's worry about the roof. And in terms of lighting, I'm going to use frog light. I think another really good choice for lighting would be glowstone, and definitely a really good choice would be lanterns. I just really like frog light, and I think it's really, really bright too. So let's lay out that roof with the frog lights. And you can kind of see how I'm going to do the balcony. So it's going to come out like that, and it'll have pillars and a railing. So I kind of want to match the floor of the balcony with these slabs here like that. The deep slate walls, just because I really love how the walls look. I'm not sure yet. I'll try to figure it out, but let's get this roof laid out first. One, two, three, four, five. One, two, three. Oh. So we're going to have a double bed, actually, which is exactly what I thought. I don't know why. When I built this side of the wall, I was like, why is this an odd number? Because again, like I always say, if you want something to have a dead center, you make it an odd number. And if you want it to have a double center, make it an even number. And I was like, why the hell did this come out weird? And I can see exactly how. So I'm going to fix that real quick. And then we'll get back to going to the roof. Okay, so I just finished the roof, and as you can see, I kind of lifted the rooftops to the frog lights, which I think will make for a really, really cool, oops, forgot to do it here, really cool visual look within the base. And I haven't actually looked in the base yet, so I'm really excited to do that. But I know you never really look at the top, but the top looks really, really cool. And I also built out this balcony here. I decided to go with the bricked walls because it just looks super, super cool. And I had these solid blocks at the bottom and the top that kind of just give it a more visually nice look to it, and it looks super secure and sturdy, which is exactly what we're looking for. So let's see how this thing looks on the inside. Oh, that is super sick. Yeah, building that wall one up just gave it so much more depth and design. Oh yeah, look at that. I mean, look at this room, and the whole thing's lit up. I'm gonna turn it to night quick. I mean, that's dope. And you can still see the outside with those raised windows, which looks really cool. Got enough light in each room. Let's see how it looks from the outside here. The balcony looks really sick. Really love how that turned out. Oh my god, that is dope. This thing is coming along great, man. I can't wait to add all the other details. I think the next step is adding the core fundamental things that we talked about, the 6 main things in the base. So let's do that right now. All right, so like I said, we got our chests here. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, there's 8, there's 9, there's 10, 11, and 12. Like I said, this is my personal preference, but I think 12 double chests is all you need in terms of storage for your starter base. And you know, I'm thinking long game. I'm thinking end game. I'm thinking I'm making a lot of builds. I'm thinking I'm making a master build. You're going to need a lot of chests for your miscellaneous and block items for that final build. And then you also need your furnaces for smelting. So let's go to the other side. I want to make sure this is dead center. And again, we can expand this out. You know, maybe you can have 6 of these just because they're primarily used more than the other type of furnaces. And we do have a lot of space for crafting here on the sides, which is nice as well. But we want to leave some area for design. So let's also add some crafting areas. Trial and error, boys. Remember what I said, trial and error. We're going to keep these 2 chests, but we're going to put them on the wall here. I think that'll just add a little bit more dimension. Yeah, that looks really nice. Screw it. I mean, again, I said I only need 12. Let's say you want other little chests here. There you go. There's even more storage options for you if you really need it. And if you want, you can build it and go down and put another layer of chests if you really want to. So let's add all those other crafting items. And again, guys, I haven't been in survival in a really long time. Leave it in the comments down below if you want me to start a hardcore video. I know lots of Minecraft players always make a hardcore video. That's kind of why I'm so against doing it, if you will, because I feel like it's just so overdone. If you guys want to see me do a hardcore survival world, leave it in the comments down below. Well, you'll see some real-time starter base building. But this is looking super sick so far. So let me get all the crafting tables. Oh, like what I was saying is I don't know all the new crafting mechanics or meta stuff that you need in your base nowadays. So I'm just going to place as many of the old blocks that I know of in this base so I make sure everything is here that I need. So yeah, like I said, these are the only blocks that I remember. So we got our, you know, we got our obvious crafting materials here. You probably don't need these. If you want to use them, you can. Cauldron, you need that. Need an anvil, need some crafters. Obviously need some crafting tables as well. Maybe I'll replace this. You know, it's really up to you, but more or less, these are all the things that I personally know. They're nice to have, and I'm just trying to use as much material as possible. But look at how much space is in the open. There's so much more room for maybe like a giant table in the middle, a crafting area in the middle that you can use. But overall, this fits the 3 out of the 6 core things that I personally think you need in a starter base. So let's get on to the other 3. All right, so here we have our enchanting room. Boom. So we have this really cool little enchanting room here. We have a light source. We have a cool view outside, so you still know what time it is. Super secure, super safe. Now this one's gonna be a little sketchy. It's never the best thing having a nether portal in your base. And again, this is not symmetrical, so it kind of pisses me off. But again, you can make a portal as big as you want these days. It's gonna have to be a drop down. Oh my god. No, I don't want to be here. Leave it down below if you want me to do a nether base. I've never done a nether base. I feel like that could be a really cool concept. But regardless, this is kind of my nether room. And I think that looks pretty cool, pretty sweet. We're going to add a lot more detailed designs later on. And last but not least, the bedroom. And I think that looks really cool, notched out there. And as you can see, it goes all the way through. So now I'm going to add some doors and get into the super fun part. Once you've built your whole structure, you got your 6 core fundamental things that you need in a starter base. Now it's for the fun part, the design. Make this thing look really cool. And I know for lots of my old builds, I never did any interiors. So today I'm going to show you guys how I do interiors, and I'm really excited to make this thing look super, super sick. So let's get right to it. So you're probably wondering to yourself, what am I doing building this little moat around? And what I'm doing is actually building some bushes. You're about to see how I'm going to turn this into something so much more aesthetically pleasing and cool just by adding bushes all the way around. And I like stacking them on high corners and bringing them lower down, and you'll see why that looks really, really cool. We're gonna add a lot of these bushes in the base itself as well. That's kind of what I'm doing here. I'll see you after I'm done placing all the bushes. All right, so here's an example. Here's just the bushes laid flat out, and honestly it looks pretty cool, but I like dimension. Like this roof, the roof has a lot of dimension. I think that visually looks really nice. So what I do to add dimension on these bushes, I find a corner, I go as high as I can, and then I kind of lay them out so they fall gradually. So maybe sometimes I do 2 like this, and then on those really high corners I fill them up like that, and just look how much more dimension that has. Here you have a really long straight. This is kind of like an awkward corner. Bring it out like that, add some dimension a little bit. Same thing here. Maybe you don't want to cover this glass here, so you make this only a 2 high one. Make this one super high, you know, following that gradual path. Maybe that looks weird, so you curl it around. Maybe this point needs 1. But look at the difference. Having no bushes to having just normal bushes to laying out your bushes at high points, and that just adds so much more to your build. And just check how that looks out on the balcony here. Really, really nice. Super, super cool. So now let's move into the interior and see where we can place some more bushes. Now bushes for me in interior design always come first, and I'm okay blocking the windows here with the bushes. You always want to add the green first because the green just looks really, really cool. And here's where maybe I shouldn't have put those chests like that, because I would like to make a bush on each side of here. I don't know, maybe we move down. Here's where I absolutely knew I wanted to put some bushes. Green always looks good in the bedroom here. Maybe both sides raise up like that. Maybe we bring this out just so it falls 1. See, that looks, I mean, that just looks nice. I mean, you can't just sit here and tell me that doesn't look nice. I feel like we're missing green here. I want to put a bush in the corner of each side over here. Again, we still have everything we need. Keeping it symmetrical with those crafting tables. Still keeping the green in. I'm one of those guys who makes the doors on the inside. I don't know. Think I'm weird? I don't care. But I think from the outside, you want your door to be indented. I think that just looks nicer overall. I feel like people think that's kind of weird, but whatever. That's just my personal design. But look at what those bushes add. So much more color. You need to add the color, and we can definitely add some more stuff. The second thing I always look for in terms of design is the carpet. You can't go wrong with the primary colors. Let's try to find out a pattern that really lays out nicely. Now I do like the brick floor design, so I do want to keep that. So I'm going to evenly go out each side, everything symmetrical and everything even. So we have 2 from from that chest. Now maybe we fill with yellow here. Yellow's in the corners. And then hit it back with the blue in the middle. Again, just adding more dimension. You know, we could use another color here. Screw it. We're putting the green in there. More green, the better. Now we do have this button here. Maybe we just want to... We don't want it to be rainbow textured. I don't know. I think that's kind of corny. I like when things are solid. Like this is a solid carpet. This is a solid carpet. Maybe we just place an even amount. I don't know. Just playing around with it a little bit. I like to just make sure colors aren't touching. You know, this is fine if you make like a solid design. But as long as colors aren't touching, that looks really nice. Okay, so we're adding a lot more colors here. It's getting cozier and cozier by the second. And now the final design, and which is my favorite part, and I love that Minecraft has this. Wait, what? There's different kinds of paintings now? Oh my god, there's so many paintings. If you couldn't have guessed already, paintings. Paintings are the final design. And I always grab a block just in case they place weird, because sometimes they don't place centered. So I want a straight up and down one here. There we go, a classic. And just look at the cozy enhancement here. So we added the bushes, we added the carpet, and we added the paintings, and just the aesthetic of it all. Screw the nether room. That place is scary anyways. We got a cool looking bedroom, and it's just super cozy. Check it out from the outside. We have a really nice overview of this build. For the final display of it all, I'm going to extend this building patio and do something that I did from the first episode to kind of really make it secure and something that I love doing to my bases. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, guys, without further ado, I present to you my cozy starter base. Absolutely everything you need in a base right here for you, completely secure, and look at how sick it is. Oh my god, look at all the roof details, all the shrubbery and the bush designs outside of the base, and look at that roof. Secured by my tree wall, keeping this base completely secure. We have a really cool balcony. As you can see, it's super detailed, but super compact, and it has everything you need in it. Storage area, we have our crafting and smelting area, we have our enchanting table, we have our nether portal, and of course the bedroom with all these great details, like I said. And I think this build looks super sick. My idea for this video was a starter base, something super simple that housed all the main components and items you need to start your survival world in it. But I think it's really important to note that everything in this build is something that you guys can add in your starter base too. It's just to show that even a small streamlined design can be super well articulated. And I think this looks super sick. I really appreciate y'all for watching. I really hope you guys like these Minecraft videos, Let's Build It videos. Again, I'm not a pro builder. I think I have some really cool ideas that I know and I hope you guys have learned from, and maybe you'll bring into your survival or hardcore world. But again, it's super easy just to keep all these important things packed into a place that is still spacious and something that you can design and make look really cool to your liking. And I really appreciate you guys for watching. If you made it this far, please leave a like. If you liked videos like this and many other gaming videos on my channel, please consider subscribing. I make videos every Friday, and I'm also an illustrator and designer, so link down below is also my art stuff if you want to go check that out. Leave a comment down below what techniques you guys really like and what kind of build you want me to do next, as well as if you want to see me make a hardcore or survival world, leave it in the comments down below. But I really appreciate all the love and support recently. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.